Thank you.
Oh yeah,
Appreciate it.
I appreciate it. What do I think of the evolution of hip hop since I dived into the culture? You know, it's been a long, strange trip. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hip hop is discussed in so many different ways and for so many different reasons all around the world. But I've been living by the tenets of the culture for as long as I can remember. You know, I don't really know any better. I think the culture is alive and well. I think there's a lot of really good things going on with it. Yeah, I don't have a single complaint. All games change, unless it's a sport that has stuck rules. You know, the rules of the culture game kind of always changing, if that's what you're talking about. If you're talking about rap music as a representative of hip-hop, that's a different conversation. You know, the game has most definitely changed in that department for all the obvious reasons. But in terms of what hip-hop is about, no, it hasn't changed at all. It's evolved, gotten broader, become international, but it's b-boying, DJing, graffiti, MCing, and Bam would say knowledge of self. I mean, pop music is pop music, and the major labels are designed to create music that is popular, with hip-hop music being one of the most popular genres of music in the world. I think it was kind of inevitable that there was going to be more commercial rap music presentation. But during the times where labels had budgets and teams in place to spend large sums of money clearing samples for records, that was when there was parity. You know, there was just as much commercial stuff happening, but your mind was dealing with the stuff that you liked because the labels were there and it was being marketed on the same playing field. You know, that game has changed drastically. So, you know, MCs that you like that used to rhyme over certain type of tracks, you just don't hear them over those tracks anymore. Because for the average label, it costs too much money to put that record out. And some of the tracks that some of those guys choose to rhyme on now might not necessarily be your cup of tea, but they're relevant. They're working. Somebody in the world thinks that this person is saying something clever. I don't think it's fair to discount that. I don't think a great deal of it has as much content as some of the earlier rap records that we all know and love. I don't think the content is as strong, but you know, our parents might say a lot of shit that we do ain't as strong as what it was when they were doing it. You know, things evolve, things change. I'm not one of them dudes that's kind of bitter about it and ranting against the commercial world. You know, if it's good, it's good. You know, if it's commercial and you get beat in the head with it, sometimes there's amazing records that are in that chamber, and you hear it so much you get sick of it. You know, so it goes both ways. It's not necessarily that all of that stuff is whack. It's just the way that system works. You know, they beat you in the head with things. I mean, there's a lot of differences and a lot of similarities. One of the primary differences for me, in my experience coming to Europe, is you know, in the States we have really heavy music culture, and we have our clubs, and we have clubs with long history and pioneering clubs and everything that comes with the whole American music experience when it comes to partying with DJs or at live shows. But I think that the club culture of Europe is just a whole different animal. You know, I tend to find more venues that work like teams out here. You know, the house does their job, the bar does their job, security does their job, talent does their job, and all of those different people bring bodies to the room, you know, and those bodies are usually pretty loyal to the events that they like. You know, you guys got the whole festival culture, you know, American festival culture is a total bite of European festival culture, simply because you guys do it right, and you've been doing it so much longer. You know, so there's that. There's the fact that people that are into hip hop or into black music, if you will, to simplify things, people who are into black music that come from places in Europe that aren't necessarily the blackest of places are also fantastic students and fantastic fans of stuff that I just grew up with. So you get that, all of that energy comes at you, you know. You go to Japan, it's the same thing. Talking about Eastern culture, it's all code, you know, pecking order, respect, all these things that keep people organized. But when it comes to studying black music and DJs and performers and vocalists and musicians and bands, there's nobody in the world that studies it harder than the Japanese, because it's just not in their world. So they're very, very, very interested, you know. But I think the music scenes across Europe are a little bit more progressive. You know, you got like a bunch of regional superstars, people who are stars in Switzerland, stars in Italy, stars in Paris, stars wherever they live, and they can make a living right there. They don't have to export. They can work there because the culture is supportive, you know. I would like to have a new record out by the end of 2013 or the first quarter of 2014. Been chopping wood on the road for a good while, you know, just working, and it's kind of taking me away from the studio a little bit. Still, obviously, always making stuff, but being in the studio and being focused on finishing a project is something that I haven't been able to settle down and do. And it's kind of a blessing and a curse. It's like, thank God, you know, we got so many DJ bookings, but man, if I just had 2 weeks uninterrupted in the studio, I could do a lot there also. So, you know, we've just been slowly creating stuff and trying to keep some conceptual projects rolling and organized. So yeah, you'll be hearing from us on a new level soon.
Fela Kuti.
Strength.
Billie Holiday.
Pain.
Questlove.
Genius.
J Dilla.
Two geniuses in one.
Jacques Brel.
Genius. 0.5.
Celia Cruz.
International treasure.
Talib Kweli.
Incredible.
Rakim.
The God MC.
Lil Wayne.
Ultra talented and crazy.
That's rich.